Just peel off in this little room. All right, what's cooking, people? I wanted to just give you guys some updates. So, yeah, lots of good shit cooking. Where to start? So, first of all, I hope you guys are keeping warm with all these crazy storms that are cooking. But very, very proud to say, scientific wrestling, that was really my first, it wasn't my first foray into entrepreneurship, but it was my first successful foray. And, I had another one that was sort of successful. Anyway, I just wanted to connect with you guys for a second. Scientific wrestling just started out, and then I want to move to number one and what I'm doing with number one. But scientific wrestling started out just me, and it was really about sharing catch wrestling. And what I discovered early was that it was the very best grappling sport, and the entire world was of the other opinion. They didn't even know it existed. It was worse than the other opinion. They didn't even know it existed. And so I decided to take on this monumental battle to make sure that catch wrestling got the credit that it deserved. And I think I've been modestly successful so far, but we have yet to really kick it into gear. So, it had started with me in front of a scanner in 2003 and literally photocopying about 10,000 pages worth of material and then putting that into a book and publishing it. And it was started out as the 4-volume authoritative encyclopedia of scientific wrestling. And we had the old Farmer Burns books, Frank Gotch books. I was able to get from the Smithsonian the Tom Jenkins biography that was unpublished. It was really cool. I found a bunch of really great obscure stuff, put it together, and struck a nerve. People were interested. Well, I continued, and I decided to expand beyond books, and I started to look for old instructional material that might be of use. And the first one that I came to, because I was talking with Carl Gotch at this time, this was the beginning of my mentorship with Carl Gotch, about 2004. Scientific wrestling was about a year old. And he told me about Yoshiaki Fujiwara in Japan. And I started looking up the Submission Masters instructional series, which is amazing. I don't know if it was published a year before Pancras and the UFC, which Pancras started about a month or so, 2 months maybe before the UFC. And it was amazing. It's a really great system. Carl said that Fujiwara, hands down, was the only guy authorized to teach the Carl way. Anybody else is bullshit. And so I went after it. I met Fujiwara. I brokered the deal, got the agreement to distribute the DVDs and reproduce them and update them. And then that was very successful and very eye-opening for a lot of people. And then I was able to actually get him to come out to America and do a training camp. So we brought him out, and it was about 3 days. Brought him to the Santa Monica High School wrestling gym where I had my catch wrestling club, thanks to Mark Black. By the way, introduced to Mark Black by Mark Schultz, Olympic gold medalist. Thank you, Mark. And actually the first seminar that I did was not Fujiwara. It was Mark Schultz and Wade Chalice back in 2003 or 2004. Maybe 2004. And I brought Fujiwara out in the beginning of 2006. That was fantastic. Fujiwara then invited me to go assist at another camp that he was doing in Ohio, which was fantastic. And it really blossomed from there. from there, shortly thereafter, Carl Gotch passed away. And before he passed away, MMA fighter Josh Barnett had asked me if I could connect him. He wanted to do some promotional work for a big Japanese pro wrestling magazine, sports magazine called Gong. So I said, sure, I'll connect you guys. And, Josh was an honorable guy, and I connected Josh. So then I told Josh I'd been really trying to get a hold of Billy Robinson, who was living in Japan, and I was having a hard time. So Josh was able to give me his contact info. And I did the same as I did with Fujiwara, and I brought Billy out from Japan. Well, there was no language barrier with Billy like there was with Fujiwara. Even though Fujiwara, I was vouched for to Fujiwara, Kumicho, by Kami-sama, Carl Gotch. I actually spoke the same language of Billy, and Billy, I think, caught on to what my vision was. And it was very big, and you can see it. I'm still working on it today. And Billy and I connected in 2007, and I was basically his right-hand man until 2014, I think is when he passed, 7 years, which is, interestingly enough, the same amount of time that it takes to be a medieval apprentice, like a stonemason or a blacksmith or anything, to become a master. Anyway, 7 years with Billy, and a lot of it was magical, what happened. So we traveled the world, went to the UK, Europe, all over the United States. People came from all over the planet to come and train with us. Really, really fantastic. Touched a lot of lives, inspired a lot of people that had no interest or no understanding of Catch as Catch Can to start their own. And that was really great, even though some of them now, well, they're not really my competitors. My competitors are much bigger than they are, but I guess I'm a competitor to them. And but also an inspiration, got them all started. Anyway, around 2007, I also released the Mace Bell. Also had the very first competitive catch wrestling tournament competition in close to 100 years, since the Alhambra tournament, closer to the turn of the 20th century. That rule set was developed by me, with Carl Gotch being like, well, you got to change this. And, really, Carl, I added the rules, updated them, made them relevant for the modern time. Really, a lot of the old catch wrestling, the submissions were there, but it wasn't emphasized it was the pin. I gave the submission equal weight to the pin in modern catch because it had to be relevant for the submission grappling scene of the modern times. So we held that first tournament in 2007. My good buddy and scientific wrestling elite coach Luis Ojeda won that, the heavyweight anyway, and launched the Mace Bell. So Carl helped me design the rule set for the King Catch. He inspired the Mace Bell. He helped connect me to Fujiwara, and then he passed in 2007, and I started working with Billy for about 7 years, and we traveled the world. About a month before Billy passed, Wade Chalice, who was the first seminar that I ran with Mark Schultz at Santa Monica High School, reached out and said, hey, I love what you're doing. I'd love to get exposure into the MMA market like what you've done. Love to work with you. And at first I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I've got my hands full with Billy. So I declined, but then Billy passed away about a month later. And I was rather distraught. Billy and I, he was, like family. And it was very, I named my youngest child Billy in his honor. And I actually was very close to quitting. It was a very tough time. That's when I was really suffering from mini strokes as a result of an undiagnosed carotid dissection from getting too many chokes, training like a dummy in the early days. And but Wade and my wife and Sam Crescent and a few other guys, Jesse Merez, Luis Ojeda, really urged me to not quit and said, in fact, Billy would want me to continue. So I just gutted it up and did it. I didn't really feel like doing it, but I did it. And I'm glad that I stuck through it. And Wade and I started traveling, brought in Josh Barnett on a bunch of seminars, which was quite fun. And yeah, that went great for a number of years. And then as we started approaching lockdowns, everything really changed. And I had been invited by Michael Zenga, the founder of BJJ Fanatics. He'd actually started out in 2017 reselling scientific wrestling tapes and has exceeded what we did in DVD distribution. He took our model and blew the doors off of it, dude. Just total genius when it comes to e-commerce. And but he reached out to me and said, hey man, appreciate everything you're doing. You want to come and do some instructionals? So I did my first instructionals for BJJ Fanatics. They all became bestsellers, which was really great. Thank you for your support, everybody who picked up a copy. And then lockdowns happened. And I was faced with this issue. I had committed that I was not going to give up after much thought, and my wife pushed me to keep going really as well. And when lockdowns happened, I was like, okay, this ain't going to stop me. That's when I pushed to the last phase of scientific wrestling that I'm in now. Started right around 2021. And that phase was to scale. So phase one was basic education of people on an intellectual and conceptual basis. Phase two was actual training athletes and offering competition. Phase three now is big time. I've got to break through and get massive. So in part of that research, that's where I stumbled on Grant Cardone. Ended up being a great fit. My background with coaching, apprenticing under Billy Robinson, that thing I didn't mention about Wade, worked a lot with Wade, studied him. Wade Challenge, for those who don't know, Guinness record holder for the most wins and pins in all wrestling, distinguished member of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, holds he'd probably never lose the record for the number of wins and pins that he had. Pinned everybody in Tbilisi, one of the toughest tournaments out in Russia. He gave me the first black belt that he's ever given, and it was a 3rd degree black belt. I don't know what that means, but that's like be given a black belt by Jigoro Kano, the founder of judo or something. Pretty crazy. So 7 years with Billy and a 3rd degree black belt from Wade. Well, and another person I hadn't mentioned was that I am certified in Shamrock submission fighting by Frank Shamrock. That I got certified in 2006 when Frank was in San Jose, and or maybe it was 2005. Anyway, if you can check it out. If you check out Frank's best-selling book MMA for Dummies, he lists me in there as one of the instructors for his system. Anyway, I decided things had to get massive, and so we decided to create the affiliate. I decided to create the affiliate program. So now we've got affiliate program. We've got Canada, Europe, out in Italy. We've got Hawaii, Arizona, all over Arizona, California, Washington, D.C. We got affiliate gyms everywhere. So if you are interested now, you can actually access scientific wrestling at these gyms. But I realized that we needed a showcase, and that King of Catch, while it was powerful, it was the first tournament, it's actually the longest running catch wrestling tournament in the history of catch wrestling. Been going since 2007. We still have events. I realized that the open tournament wasn't going to be the thing. I needed to create a showcase, and that was Shoot Pro Wrestling. So Shoot Pro Wrestling is this idea that what if pro wrestling was a shoot? All of it. It wasn't a work, meaning preordained outcomes and theatrical representation of Catch as Catch Can. What if the Catch as Catch Can was sportive? So I brought back the sport of pro wrestling, Catch as Catch Can, with Shoot Pro. And we innovated a little bit. Of course, we used the Carl Gotch rules and then added on to it. We did the first ever competitive tag team matches in pro wrestling. Another first. First triple shoot, which is like a triple threat in WWE. 3-way single man tag. I mean, just amazing. Really, really, really cool. Very, very proud of what we created. And we've been seeking big distribution. So swinging for the fences. Well, in that process, caught the attention of UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich. Very proud to announce we just did a big press release that Pat Miletich is now the president of Shoot Pro, and he's actually a partner. He's my first actual partner that I brought in who is a part of the company. Everybody else was just agreements and we just worked together. Pat's actually a partner. UFC Hall of Famer, first welterweight champion, coach to 11 world MMA champions, including Robbie Lawler, Jens Pulver, Matt Hughes. I mean, so humbled and honored to have him a part of things. Also, we did CatchCon, which is, you don't understand, but in the time period from about when we really started doing seminars to when I kind of had to put a kibosh on it, from let's say 2007 until, let's call it 2022, 23, maybe, probably 23. I was on a plane. I was doing like 25 round trip flights a year, right? And there's only 52 weeks in a year, so it was too much. And so I decided I need to shrink that down. I'm going to make one big event. And that was CatchCon. So we had like 8 amazing coaches. We had Jody Malenko. We had Frank Shamrock. Came out of retirement, hadn't coached in 14 years, did it as a personal favor to me. So all those people who went to CatchCon last year, 2025 in Vegas, you were the first people to see Frank in 14 years. The leg lock game, he was so far ahead back before he quit that even you see the leg locks today, he's still ahead of them. It's just amazing. So that was great. Anyway, come full circle, Shoot Pro is blowing up. Frank is now the what is he? The chairman. Pat's the president. So 4-time undefeated UFC champion and Strikeforce champion, King of Pancrase. I mean, you just don't get a better resume than Frank, nor do you get a better resume than Pat. And they're both now with Scientific Wrestling. So we've had Pat, Frank, Wade, Billy, Carl Gotch. I mean, dude, it doesn't get any better. Really, it does not literally get any better. So we've got CatchCon coming up again in 2026. May 1st through 3rd. It's in Las Vegas. It's the week after the U.S. Open at USA Wrestling in Vegas. So those of you that are folk style wrestlers are going to be in Vegas anyway, hang out. We've added a division, so there's $4,000, 4 divisions, $1,000 prize money for each division. If you want to watch last year's show, it's shootpro.tv, shootpro.tv. That'll take you out free. We did a whole season TV show based on it. Learned a lot this year. Oh my gosh. We got a TV studio. We got a full ring. We've got lasers, smoke machines. Dude, it's out of control. You gotta get, dude, we're 5 months out. We've already sold 10% of the tickets, dude. I'm telling you, you need to jump on this now, like yesterday. Figure it out, dude. Get in the room. Again, this time Pat Miletich will be there in person. Frank Shamrock will be there. Jody Malenko is going to be there. I haven't really announced that, so you guys are hearing this for the first time. Joe Malenko, by the way, brother Dean Malenko, one of Carl Gotch's longtime student, great guy. We've got obviously all the scientific. I've got 2 people that I'm very, very excited about, kind of up and coming, but amazing. If you're a folk style person, you've probably seen him. He does a lot of work with Victoria Anthony, does work with Helen Maroulis. He has like over 500,000 followers just on his Instagram alone. JJ Howland is going to be a clinician there. Also, Carolyn Wester from Wrestling Prep. She is in the corner of a lot of UFC people. Super, super in demand. Was helping Henry Cejudo for his last match. Amazing woman, expert in body leverage. She's going to be there. We're going to be doing the Mace Bell certification again. And again, if you want, you don't have to, but you get to either compete in a competition to end up in the finals for Shoot Pro and be on TV. You obviously have tickets to come and watch the show on the 3rd. Just amazing stuff, dude. So that's all of the scientific wrestling stuff. You really need to check it out. CatchCon.us has all the details. Go, I'm telling you, sign up now. The prices are the same prices as they were last year, but they will go up. Okay, I'm going to add $100 to the price of each ticket tier. Just go to CatchCon.us and sign up, dude. Save yourself the money. This will be the greatest event you've ever done. The event was so good last year. On the spot, had 3 people sign up for this year's a year later at CatchCon in Vegas last year. They signed up. There's like, dude, this was amazing. 3 days, bro. Check out shootpro.tv. Tell me that it wasn't cool as shit. And it's going to be so much better. The production values. My buddy Eddie, he produced Metamoris. He's a what is he, like a Grammy award-winning producer. He produced Metamoris, produced Craig Jones 1, produced Craig Jones Invitational 2. He's agreed to produce Shoot Pro Season 2 in Las Vegas. You need to get here, dude. Everybody who signed up bought the ticket. They had 3 great days. They got a Mace Bell. They got entry into the tournament. They got individual matches produced and narrated with WWE Hall of Famer and Penn State wrestler Larry Zbyszko, Larry the living legend Zbyszko, who, by the way, was Bruno Sammartino's protege. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, fine, miss out. Be stupid. I'm sorry, you're stupid if you miss out. Really. This is like unreal. Then we got number 1 coaching, which is blowing up. I'm about to release what I call the Sportify operating system. For those of you who know, I've written 2 books on this concept I call Sportify or sportification. It's an extension of the idea of gamification. We're trying to solve the problem in gamification of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, being that gamification offers extrinsic but not intrinsic motivation. Sportification does so. And I've been applying that to all the mentees and clients that I have and having fantastic success. The ROI on my business coaching, the return on investment in me as a coach is 1,500%. I am literally better than Bitcoin. I don't know what to tell you. The numbers don't lie. I'll show you the numbers. Get on a call with me. I'll show you right on the Zoom and how I gathered the data. But just a great year. Was named the 2-time 10X Performance Coach of the Year for Grant Cardone's 10X Performance Coaching Program. I'm also the Chief Data, and AI Officer. Anyway, just a really blessed year. My kids are doing great. My wife is doing fantastic. You know, she's been doing a lot in coaching dance. And in addition to that, she's been running the software company that we own, really doing a great job. Anyway, I just wanted to take this moment to reach out with you guys. I had finally a spare moment. My eldest daughter is at her job, one of her jobs as a theater manager. So I had some time. So I just thought I'd check in with you guys. I had a little moment here, and here in Cherry Creek, I have access to my offices right now, and nobody's here. Believe it or not, except me, as usual. I'm the first in and last out. Guys, if I can help you, holler, DM me, leave a comment. You can text me. I'm trying to fix my Calendly thing. It's not working right now. But just reach out. Yeah, I'm not hard to find. Anyway, I hope you guys are well. And